So now that you understand a little bit about the full spectrum vibration, how this technology ties in with DNA, you understand how it ties in with the all-seeing eye and how it influences our own neural network inside of our brain, and how it opens us up. There's a lot more science behind this. And literally, it's about how to activate and open up our system. One of the biggest questions that I get, though, is how can this flat, two-dimensional surface create energy? How can it have any effect on me? Why aren't you using three-dimensional types of technologies? And I'll show you the answer to that right now. There's a hexagon. There is a cube. I'll draw a little different for you, just in case you can't see it. I'm working with three-dimensional objects. It may be on a flat two-dimensional surface, but your brain, your eyes, nature, you can't tell the difference. For instance, you believe you're in a three-dimensional reality, a three-dimensional world. You believe you see 3D. But do you really see 3D? I don't think you do. Because no matter what you're looking at, a really skilled artist can take the exact same picture and put it onto a flat piece of paper. And you may think it's 3D because all of a sudden you can turn and now you see a different image. But a really skilled artist could take another piece of paper and draw that image that you're seeing. You're still seeing flat images. Think about it. I've seen 3D before, and I tell you, it's not the same way that we see normally now. Being able to see three dimensions means being able to look at these shapes and having them pop out as 3D for you. It means being able to look at shading and structures inside of the trees, inside of the leaves, and watching three-dimensional characters pop out of it. That's seeing 3D. Very, very different. That's in-depth perception, which is a higher skill that you get when you're amped up with energy. But most of us, we just see flat, two-dimensional. And when we look in different places, we're really just seeing more two-dimensional spaces. It's very weird. Think about it for a little bit. I'm going to tell you some other stuff. Other people keep trying to go to fourth, fifth, sixth dimension, all these higher dimensions. And what are they? What's fourth dimension? What does it look like? What's fifth dimension? In physics, they got up to 11 different dimensions. What are they? Oh, wait a sec. It could be 9 dimensions. It could be 10 dimensions or 11 dimensions. In fact, it can be all of them. What? Can you imagine what fourth dimension looks like? How about sixth dimension? You can't think of it, can you? Nobody knows what it looks like, yet they're all working with it. And when you start to really fraction it down and simplify it, you can start to see what these higher dimensions are looking like. But I'm going to tell you about that stuff afterwards. What I want to share with you right now is about two-dimensional reality. When I'm looking for energy, I'm looking for the purest energy that's available. In other words, closest to source. We all know that source is one. It's a dot, one space, which consists of everything. It contains everything. Okay? One-dimensional space is literally the source of all creation. From there, we move into a flat two-dimensional space. And from there, we move into a three-dimensional space. My apologies, the square is not the symbol for two-dimensional space. I will show you the symbol for two-dimensional space. It's a hexagon, a symbol for two-dimensional space. Hexagons fit together perfectly. You can put as many hexagons together and they will all fit out perfectly. But so can a square. A square can fit out perfectly, so can triangles. But we know that a pyramid is the basic unit. And a pyramid is consisted of The cube is one basic shape. It's the building block, and it consists of 6 pyramids, which represent the 6 colors of light that are generated from white light: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and purple, or violet, whichever one you would like to say. Now, watch what happens here. We had this little 7th point inside, and we connect. And what do we have here? We got 6 pyramids on a flat surface, on a 2-dimensional surface. Cubes fit together perfectly with no wasted space. Hexagons fit together perfectly with no wasted space. There are 3 lines of travel through a cube. In other words, your XYZ coordinates, which are required to identify one single point in space. Now, a hexagon also has 1, 2, 3 lines of travel, which you can use to identify one single point in space. These 2 are the exact same shape. One is 3-dimensional, the other one's 2-dimensional. How do you create the 2-dimensional into a 3-dimensional? Simple. You add one line or one dot in the center and connect them. And your hexagon, which is a flat 2-dimensional shape, can turn into a cube. Fantastic. This is amazing. This is a compression system. It's incredible. When I'm looking for energy, I'm looking for energy that's closest to the source. And if we are supposedly living in this 3-dimensional reality out here, even though there's really amazing virtual realities which are really functional in 3 dimension when you get your eyes opened up enough, this is supposedly 3-dimensional reality, just our senses aren't strong enough to really extract out the real 3D effects yet. I want to go closest to source, which is 1-dimensional. In other words, my next step in is 2-dimensional reality. And in there, I start creating what's called a brain. A brain, the definition of a brain is a flat 2-dimensional surface which stores mathematical values which strings attach to. Strings are little vibrations of energy which are emanated off of these flat surfaces.